3 ways to help solve the problem at Al Nassr. Last night, Nassr went out of the Champions League at an earlier stage than they'd expect to. They didn't even reach the semi-final. They got knocked out by the United Arab Emirates side, Al Hilal, and it wasn't good viewing. It wasn't good viewing in many, many ways. They actually got back into the game, but they were 3-0 down on aggregate at one stage, going into the last half of the 4. They did stage a bit of a comeback, but it was bad goalkeeping all round. Not just by Al Nassr, but also the Al Ain goalkeeper. Mane did good work to get one back, but it was just a bit of a mess, the whole entire thing. Al Ain deserved it. They went for on penalties in the end. You could argue, flip of a coin, penalty shootout. If Nassr went through, would I be making this video? I probably still would, based on the performance, based on the defeat recently against Raid, against drawing 4-0 against Al Hazam. It's for this reason I have done the 3 things that I think will help Al Nassr next season, because it's not just a case of getting better. They need to chase down Hilal, who are a winning machine. They're about to, most likely, break the world record for victories. So we need to look into a very, very, very concise ways of chasing them. The 3 things I've come up with is, number 1, the goalkeeper situation. I already touched on it. It was a mess last night. The goalkeepers, they've had David Spinner. It's just not been good enough for me. None of them are good enough, okay? I actually think both of the first goals last night scored by the Al Ain striker Rahimi were preventable at the near post, beaten there in the second goal. The first goal was a 1-on-1, but even then, I don't think there's enough being done there. And it's an own goal as well. But I just think it's something that is so, so important. It breeds confidence into the rest of the team. It breeds confidence in your defence, and I'll get to that in a minute. And the goalkeeper situation needs to change. For me, there's such an obvious solution. I do not understand how this man is still a free agent. David De Gea. David De Gea has been available all season. He left Manchester United last season. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a great goalkeeper. Man United has been in a terrible place for a long time, and he was a key reason why they were able to stay where they were and sort of getting second and fourth every now and again. And for some reason, the blame seemed to all fall on him eventually. They got Onana in. He's been all right. He started bad. He's got a bit better as the season's gone on. But David De Gea was not the problem, okay? Poor defence, poor structure, changing managers all the time. There's an idea that he can't play out with his feet from the back, but that's okay. I'm going to bring that on in a second, tactically, where the manager might make sense. But David De Gea seems to me to be a great fit all round. And it solves that goalkeeping issue, and I think he would absolutely thrive in the Saudi Pro League. And he's available on a free. So yes, I'm sure he'll command big wages. Remember, he was on £350,000 a week at Manchester United. The Saudi Pro League can afford that, especially if there's no transfer fee. The second thing is the manager situation. Luis Castro is a good manager. There's no doubt about it. He's an experienced man. And I think he's done an okay job. But the Saudi Pro League has progressed massively this season. The players who have come in have been very, very, very proactive in making the league stronger. Hilal have gone to a whole new level with the quality of player they've brought in. And sometimes, you can't just beat a player, you can't just win player versus player. Tactically, you need to think of ways to get around that. And the one man in world football, you probably know where I'm going with this, as I spoke about in a previous video, who is so capable of overcoming the odds, of tactically defeating a superior side, and that's Jose Mourinho, the special one. Okay, now say what you like about Jose. I've had my opinions about him in the past. He's a winner. He is a winner. Now, you could argue he hasn't been a winner for a period of time, but he's still won trophies at Roma. He's still won trophies at Manchester United. He's won league titles everywhere he's gone, pretty much. Tottenham was the one team where he didn't win anything, but, as an Arsenal fan, what do you expect? But the point being is that Jose Mourinho, I think, is a good fit for the Saudi at this time. He's coming towards, maybe not the end of his career, but certainly the latter stages of his career. And I'm not linking the Saudi Pro League and him together for that, but I think he could go and really and reconfigure himself. There's rumours of him going to Chelsea. I don't see it happening. He's not going to Chelsea for a third time. For me, the future is the Saudi Pro League. I think Mourinho could be a real ambassador for that from the start. He doesn't play football out of the back. He tends to allow, a more direct approach, hitting on their counter-attack. Again, I'm going to touch on that in a minute. And David De Gea wouldn't necessarily need to play out the back too much. He'll sort out that defence. If he can invest in that defence, there's room like Rafael Varane coming in, going alongside Laporte, that'd be great. But that defence is shaky. But Mourinho can organise that defence. He'll make Sultan Al-Galim at right back, a more efficient right back defensively. Alex Telles, I think there's a player there that can be made better. And obviously Laporte will be the leader of the back four there. But also as a whole unit with Brozovic in midfield, even the forwards, the defensive unit will be there in shape. A bit like Hilal. Hilal have only conceded 10 goals this season. If you can't beat them, join them. Mourinho would be that man. And last but not least, I'm going to go with looking at the tactics and the players that they've got. So Cristiano Ronaldo is a wonderful, wonderful footballer. I'm not advocating for 1 second that they get rid of Cristiano Ronaldo. But he's not ever going to do a high press. Mane is a fantastic high pressing forward. When you're pressing, you have to do it as a unit. You can't just do it, one goes, the other one doesn't, okay? I'm a massive Arsenal fan. The one thing I've seen quite a lot, the likes of Odegaard, Martinelli, there's an organisation to the press. It's not just go and do it if you feel like it. Ronaldo's not going to do that at his age, at 39 years old. Mane can, but it means the press is very easy to break through the lines against Nassr. So for me, you either go one way or the other, okay? You change tactically. So for example, with a Mourinho, you sit back a bit deeper, hit on the counter-attack. Ronaldo can be lethal in that way. To a certain extent, Mane can as well, but we can't press high up the pitch. Mourinho wouldn't advocate that, and I think that would work quite well for Ronaldo and Mane, where they could play their own game a bit more. I don't think it needs to be one or the other. I think they just have to change the tactic. I think it's a bit of a mess, because Ronaldo's not doing what he's supposed to do in the press. Mane's pressing, which is leaving gaps in behind. And then they're going into midfield, where, in my opinion, other than Brozovic, the midfield is quite weak since Fofana left. And certainly that back four, teams are getting at that back four. And I'm talking lower league teams are getting at that back four. And that's when Nassr are at their weakest. So for me, they're the 3 changes I would make for Nassr going into the window. It's not just buy more players. There's a philosophy, like I said yesterday, you have to get in place. I think Jose Mourinho is that winning philosophy. I think changing tactics that might mean being a bit more negative. But I think he's the man, like he proved at Porto, like he proved at Inter Milan, that he can overcome the odds and beat bigger sides. Not that I say bigger sides. Hilal are that juggernaut at the moment. They are that big side, and I think Jose Mourinho, David De Gea, and sorting out those tactics are the way to overcome Hilal for Nassr next season. I hope you enjoyed that video. All the best from me. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.